Okay, I look like shit. I just got out of the shower. I've had a very rough 2 freaking days. I'm sick as a dog. I've got strep and I'm on the wrong antibiotic, so my throat hurts. So if I sound really raspy, I'm sorry. But I needed to do this. I really don't like making friends because, in this situation, because, you do move on. But I did. Met an annoying pain in the butt. Little blonde-headed 21-year-old that flirted with me, had the biggest crush on me, has the biggest crush on me. He's 14 years younger than me. I mean, it's flattering, it really is. And it does kind of help your self-esteem some. But the thing is he never pushed it. He was always a gentleman. He was a friend. Despite what feelings he thought he had for me or whatever, he put that aside and he was there for me. He had my back every day. I nicknamed him Cougar Bait because he seemed to always go for older women, and older women, there's a couple of them around here that would kind of go for him, and he didn't want them. But anyway, so that's how he got nicknamed Cougar Bait. And if anybody out there who knows me knows that I will either nickname you or I will call you mine. My so-and-so, my such and such, Those are what I do when I care about somebody. And this kid wheedled his little manipulative way into my life. And he's made me smile. He's made me laugh. He's kept me out of the dumps sometimes. He reminds me of a very young Owen Wilson. The way he talks, his demeanor, the way he laughs, the jokes he makes, just his whole persona. That's how he makes me think. He's Owen Wilson, a young 21-year-old Owen Wilson. I mean, he's even blonde. So, anyway, knowing this thing, which I've had stuff up on Facebook the past few days, Cougar Bait's here because Cougar Bait just got out of prison because he was drug trafficking when he was at a young age. His father started having him help him cook meth. Cougar Bait did not have a proper environment to grow up in, and I keep sitting here thinking, man, if this kid, he looks like your average Abercrombie and Fitch dude. He's preppy. He's preppy looking. You would not look at him and know this kid has been hooked on drugs since he was 12. You wouldn't know it. And the thing is, the state of Oklahoma has perpetuated this cycle. They do not invest in our children for mental illness, for mental health, for education. They constantly cut budgets, don't have the appropriate teachers, don't have the appropriate resources for these children, and this is what happens. They go to prison when they're 18 for cooking meth with their father. DHS is not properly looking into these homes with these parents with drug charges. Yet, God, okay, I'm not going into there. Friday night, I had a conversation with Cougar Bait, which he was so upset Friday. He was so upset he had court. He was so upset. He told me he was depressed. I tried and tried and tried to get him to sit down and talk to me. I did. He wouldn't do it. He was just pacing. He was arguing with somebody else about the drugs, and my thing is, I don't tell on people. I won't unless somebody's life is in danger or somebody gets hurt. I'm not going to say a word about anything at all. I take my secrets to the grave. Well, guess what? He's hurt. He's in a fucking coma. Pardon my language. Saturday morning, they had to do CPR on him, resuscitating him. He aspirated vomit into his lungs. And I wasn't over there. I'm sick. I've been in bed. I've been in bed sick all weekend. And Friday night, he called me at about 10 o'clock. He had the munchies because he's doing drugs with his friends. And I don't have any munchies because I don't have the money to buy munchies. I don't have the money to do any of this. And I told him that. And he said, he just kind of laughed and he said, well, I still love you anyway. And that's might be the last thing I ever hear from him. Because he OD'd Saturday morning. They took him to the hospital. He's on a ventilator. He has double pneumonia because of the aspiration into his lungs. I've heard different stories from different people, and I don't know what to trust, but I've been asking for prayer, and hopefully it's working, because the last thing I heard from somebody, because we're all in contact with his mom, was that he's stable right now, and he's very sedated, heavily sedated. I want to kick somebody's ass. I really do. I want to kick somebody's ass. I have been so angry all weekend over this. I mean, and there's so many people to blame, and of course him. I mean, yes, he's 21, he can make his own decisions, yada yada yada, but he was upset, he was depressed over court. He has mental illness, he has mental health issues. Instead of dealing with those issues in this state, they criminalize mental illness. They criminalize drug addictions, because I guarantee you the majority of drug addiction problems are because a person with a mental illness is self-medicating. And a lot of the times it's because they don't want to have to admit to somebody that they've got a problem, because guess what? Then they're stigmatized. You want to live with a red letter on your chest for the rest of your life? No, they don't. That's how a lot of these drug addictions begin. They're not getting the proper help, they're not getting the proper care, they're not getting the proper medications because they're afraid to. And why shouldn't they be? I mean, they're talking about taking away people's rights to bear arms and all this and that and the other. You can't do that. Somebody who's mentally ill is more likely to hurt themselves or have somebody else hurt them than for them to hurt somebody. You can't sit there and criminalize mental illness. You cannot give people with mental illness a bad name. There are circumstances. That's what the NGRI law was created for. Do not treat us like criminals. Don't treat anybody like criminals. Get the help, the treatment they need. Don't punish people. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't do all these budget cuts. Yeah, you're really helping with the budget cuts. Who are you helping? Yourself. You're lining your pocket. Politicians up there, you guys could take about a 50% pay cut and still be in the upper class. Not even middle class. None of your salary should be above a middle class salary. You're supposed to be doing a service to the people. You're not supposed to have some six-figure salary. You're serving the people. This is a responsibility. You shouldn't be paid an exorbitant amount of our tax dollars for that. That money should go to the teachers, the firefighters, the police officers, the ones that fight this battle daily. You need to put more money into education. Mental health. This state is broken. This country's broken. And things like this, what happened to Cougar Bait, are too common of a story, and they should not happen. No one should have to suffer like this. No one should have to go through this. I want to ask all of you to please pray for him, pray for Cougar Bait. I don't want to mention his name on here because privacy issues and stuff, but pray for Cougar Bait. God will know who you mean. Because I don't think there's very many people out there with that nickname. he would have had a better chance in life. If he would have been dealt better cards, my God. He'd be on campus at like OU or OSU or University of Arkansas or Southeastern Oklahoma State University. And he would be, like I said, he's a young Owen Wilson. Oh my gosh, he would be such a frat boy. And if you know anybody with a drug addiction problem, do you know that there's probably a pretty huge chance that there's mental illness under there. You need to have a talk with them. You need to try to talk them into actually getting some real help, putting down the drugs, because I don't want this happening to anybody else ever again. I so wish I want to go to that hospital and I want to punch him in the shoulder, just like I did a couple of weeks ago when he got out of court, and go, "You idiot!" And then I want to punch myself because I didn't have munchies. Because maybe if he'd been here, he'd come, get munchies. Maybe he would have talked to me. Maybe he wouldn't have gone and taken another hit that would have put him over the edge. Maybe he wouldn't have gone back to those idiots he was hanging out with. But I was sick, I had no munchies, and I felt like crap, and I'll always remember that phone call. Okay, I still love you anyway. Please pray for me. Thank you.